Team Nepal have returned home after featuring at their maiden Asia Cup underway in Pakistan and Sri Lanka. Despite suffering losses against test nations India and Pakistan, Team Nepal have drawn the eyes of the global cricket fraternity as they performed better than expectations against the giants of the sport. Good evening, I'm Chitrakar and these are the headlines of the hour. Team Nepal returned home to a heroic welcome after featuring at the Asia Cup for the first time in Nepal's cricket history. Team expected to learn and grow after playing test nations. Nepali Congress Joint General Secretary Mahendra Yadav attacked at Kathmandu's Prikuti Mandap. Police arrest Sham Sapkota for attacking with a sharp weapon. Nepal Electricity Authority operates 51 charging stations at one go. Construction of 11 additional stations underway. Government aiming to attract investors for production of electric vehicles in Nepal. And 78th session of the UN General Assembly declared open by new General Assembly President Denise Francis. Calls on member states to push for and nurture peace by empowering those most vulnerable. Team Nepal have returned home after featuring at the Asia Cup for the first time in the history of Nepali cricket. They witnessed a grand welcome at the Tribhuvan International Airport earlier this afternoon. Officials of the Cricket Association of Nepal's supporters and journalists had reached the TIA in large numbers to welcome the players. The players were welcomed with garland. Team Nepal had crashed out from the group stage of the tournament, which is underway in Pakistan and Sri Lanka. However, Nepal had displayed impressive performances against test nations India and Pakistan. Despite suffering a massive defeat of 238 runs against Pakistan, Nepal had displayed an improved batting display against India. After being put to bat, Nepal were bowled out for 230 runs in 48.2 overs against India. Asif Sheikh scored 58, Sompal Kami made 48, while Kushal Bhutel scored 38. Nepal lost the match by 10 wickets under the DL method in the rain-affected match. Nepali Congress Joint General Secretary Mahendra Yadav has been attacked. Yadav was attacked with a sharp weapon at Kathmandu's Prikuti Mandap earlier this afternoon. Yadav has sustained injuries in his head. He is undergoing treatment at a National Trauma Center and doctors have said that he is out of risk. Police has arrested Sham Sapkota, who had attacked Yadav. An investigation committee has been formed to probe the death of a girl in the emergency ward of the Kanti Children's Hospital. Following allegations that 5-year-old Rejisha Gopali, who was taken to the hospital on Monday night for treatment, had died because of the irresponsibility of the hospital, an investigation committee has been formed under Dr. Prakash Joshi. The hospital has assigned the committee a period of 5 days to furnish its report. Gopali was taken to the hospital with symptoms of fever and vomiting, and she had passed away on the night of Monday. Paropakar Maternity and Womens Hospital of Thapathali, Kathmandu has begun the arrangement of online tickets starting today. Considering the large number of patients, the hospital has begun the online ticketing service on the occasion of its 64th anniversary. The hospital has also added a pharmacy counter in addition to the billing and ticket counter. Hospital Director Dr. Shri Prasad Adhikari has said that the hospital has been providing 450 general beds for free of cost for those under the poverty line. The only specialized women's hospital of the country has 414 official beds. However, the hospital has said it has increased its capacity to 489 to serve the increased number of patients. A total of 34,185 patients were admitted at the hospital in the previous fiscal year. The hospital had begun its services on the day of Krishna Janmashtami on the 26th of August, 1959 with 40 beds. The Nepal Electricity Authority has brought into operation 51 electric charging stations today. Construction works of the charging stations had begun 2 years ago and have come into operation today. The charging stations were constructed at major highways, bus parks and major cities of all 7 provinces for charging of electric vehicles under the Infrastructure Development Project. At the charging stations built at an investment of 400 million rupees, Large buses, microbuses, trucks, pickups and cars can be charged at 26 of them, while cars of all sizes can be charged at 25 of them. Inaugurating the charging station at the Mahindra Police Club of Prikuti Mandap in Kathmandu, Minister for Energy, Water Resources and Irrigation, Shakti Bahadur Basnet said that the government had stressed construction of charging stations to increase the use of electric vehicles in the country. He further added that the government was also prioritizing the formulation of policies to attract investors for production of electric vehicles in Nepal. The authority is also constructing charging stations in 11 other places and aims to build 500 charging stations. Each charging station has a 142 kilowatt capacity charger, 50 kVA transformer for electricity supply and online billing system. For fast charging, the charging stations have DC chargers of 60 kilowatt capacities and AC chargers of 22 kilowatt capacities. In addition to this, 3 vehicles including large buses can be charged at once. Managing Director of the NEA, Kulman Khising, has said that the charging stations were built with the objective of promoting the use of electric vehicles. The electric vehicles available in Nepal take between half an hour to 1 hour for full charge based on their battery capacity. The National Examination Board has postponed the grade upgrade examination for grade 12 by 3 days. Based on the revised schedule, the examination will now begin on the 26th of September. According to the spokesperson of the Office of the Examination Controller, Janga Bahadur Aryal, the examination was previously scheduled to begin on the 23rd of September but now has been pushed for the 26th of September. Students can appear for grade upgradation examination for up to 2 subjects. Such students must deposit the amount for the grade upgradation examination by the 8th of September. According to the board, around 123,370 students are expected to attend the examination. Purnima Shrestha of Gorkha has already climbed 8 of the world's 14 mountains, measuring at an altitude of 8,000 meters above sea level. Purnima, who climbed K2 of Pakistan a month ago, is a photojournalist by profession. Born in the family of farmers, Purnima is now making preparations to climb the remaining 6 mountains above 8,000 meters. Photojournalist by profession, Purnima Shrestha of Arughat Rural Municipality, Ward number 9 of Gorkha, had climbed the world's 2nd highest mountain, K2 of Pakistan, on the 26th of July. Purnima, who was born in the Newar family of Arutar village near the Budi Gandaki River, had only seen the mountains from a distance. However, she had already climbed 8 of the 14 mountains above 8,000 meters, including the Mount Everest, and is aiming to climb the remaining 6 mountains at the earliest as well. However, Purnima's parents are concerned every time she embarks on her journey to ascend a mountain. But they are enthused when they are made aware about her successful expedition. While their daughter is getting popular for her mountaineering achievements, they are busy in their farms. Purnima had begun her mountaineering expeditions by climbing Mount Manaslu in 2017. She reached the apex of Mount Everest in 2018, climbed Annapurna and Thaulagiri in 2021, reached the top of Kanchenjunga, Lhotse and Makalu in 2022 and K2 this year. Youth of Baglung have actively participated in conservation of the traditional Rupai Nach, or the plantation dance. The dance, which has artistic, cultural and traditional significance, is being transferred from generations to generations. The youth have also become actively involved in the conservation of the dance, which was at the verge of extinction. The Rupai dance includes components of paddy plantation and is performed at major market areas. Following conclusion of issues related to land, works of upgrading of the Dhankuta hospital have moved forward. Koshi Province government had decided to upgrade the 15-bed capacity hospital to 100-bed capacity 2 years ago. However, construction works had failed to move forward because of issues related to land. Contract process for construction of a 5-story building for the hospital has begun after the province government issued a permit for acquisition of 25 ropanis of land of the Agriculture Knowledge Center. According to the Dhankuta Hospital Development Committee, an agreement has been reached for conclusion of the building within 3 years at an investment of 460 million rupees. Time now for our segment, Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse, brought to you by Prabhu Bank, risen for your success. Sundarta ka lagi Rose Face Soap. Rees College of Engineering and Management, Balkumari, Lalitpur. Uniglobe SS and College, Kamladi, Kathmandu.
Here's the question. What's your take on the government's preparation for laws that allow recording public's personal calls? Your options are A. Violating one's privacy, B. Government high-handedness, and C. Effort to control crime. Voting is on. Type any WS, select your option A, B or C and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. Time now for international update. The 78th session of the UN General Assembly was declared open by new General Assembly President Denise Francis. Speaking at the Assembly, Kasaba Korosi, President of the 77th session of the General Assembly, summarized the work of the past year. He noticed that despite the geopolitical competition, the survival of mankind still needs everyone's cooperation, and multilateralism is the only choice to deal with many crises in the world. After Korosi's speech, Francis was sworn in. In the afternoon, the first plenary meeting of the 78th UN General Assembly was held. In his opening remarks, Francis said the new session of the General Assembly began amid a daunting global agenda beset by a series of cascading challenges. He called on member states to push for and nurture peace by empowering those most vulnerable, to deliver shared prosperity by unlocking the resources required for transformational results, to accelerate progress by capitalizing on the enablers of youth, innovation and technology, and to drive sustainability. Francis, a diplomat from Trinidad and Tobago, was sworn in at the closing of the 77th session of the General Assembly on Tuesday morning. Chinese Premier Li Qiang has said it is important to oppose a new Cold War when dealing with conflicts between countries, as world leaders gathered in Jakarta amid sharpening geopolitical rivalries across the Indo-Pacific region. Speaking at an annual summit of the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, ASEAN, with China, Japan and South Korea, Li said countries need to appropriately handle differences and disputes. ASEAN, which has warned of the danger of getting dragged into major powers disputes, is meeting with Li, US Vice President Kamala Harris and leaders of various partner countries including Japan, South Korea, Australia and India. Neither US President Joe Biden nor his Chinese counterpart Xi Jinping are attending the summit. Top US diplomat Antony Blinken has arrived in Kyiv in a gesture of support as Ukraine's counteroffensive against Russian forces grinds into its 4th month with only small gains. During his 2-day visit, staying overnight in Ukraine for the first time since before Russia's February 2022 invasion, Blinken will likely announce a new package of US assistance worth more than $1 billion, a senior State Department official said in a briefing for reporters on the trip. Blinken, on the first trip to Kyiv by a top US official since the Ukrainian counter-offensive began, is expected to meet President Volodymyr Zelensky and Foreign Minister Dmytro Kuleba, among other senior officials, as well as civil society figures, the official said. Brazilian President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva officially recognized 2 indigenous territories, granting them legal protection as reservations to defend against invasions by illegal loggers, gold miners and cattle ranchers. The announcement came on the day Brazil celebrates its Amazon region, home to the world's largest tropical rainforest, the preservation of which is seen as essential to soaking up carbon emissions responsible for global warming. It is a race against time as Brazil's Congress is pushing through legislation that would restrict the recognition of indigenous land claims, a move backed by the country's powerful farm lobby. Deforestation in Brazil's Amazon fell 66.11% in August to its lowest level for the month since 2018, Environment Minister Marina Silva said on Tuesday, in a significant mark for its environmental policy as destruction often spikes this time of year. Satellite data from Brazilian Space Research Agency INPE indicated that 563 square kilometers of rainforest were cleared in the month, a 66.1% drop from the same period a year ago. In the first 8 months of the year, INPE's figures showed deforestation has fallen a cumulative 48% from the same period of 2022. Former Italian Prime Minister Giuliano Amato has called on French President Emmanuel Macron to clarify whether his country was to blame for an Italian air disaster that killed 81 people more than 40 years ago. Italian judges have said in the past that a missile likely downed the DC-9 civilian aircraft near the island of Ustica on June 27, 1980, but have been unable to identify who was responsible for one of the darkest mysteries in Italy's post-war history. In a weekend interview with La Repubblica newspaper, Amato said he believed that the aircraft belonging to the now defunct domestic airline Itavia was probably shot down accidentally by a French jet during a botched attempt by France, the US and NATO to kill the then Libyan leader Muammar Gaddafi while he was flying over Italy. Before wrapping up, here's a look at the top stories once again. Team Nepal returned home to a heroic welcome after featuring at the Asia Cup for the first time in Nepal's cricket history. Team expected to learn and grow after playing Test nations. Nepali Congress Joint General Secretary Mahendra Yadav attacked at Kathmandu's Prikuti Mandap. Police arrest Sham Sapkota for attacking with a sharp weapon. Nepal Electricity Authority operates 51 charging stations at one go. Construction of 11 more stations underway. Government aiming to attract investors for production of EVs in Nepal. And 78th session of the UN General Assembly declared open by new General Assembly President Denise Francis calls on member states to push for and nurture peace. That's all for the moment. Our next English bulletin will be at 10:30 tonight. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.